If you've been watching my channel, then you'll know that I'm a huge fan of the Reload RTA from Reload Vapor USA. Matter of fact, this is probably my favorite RTA of all time. I'm just a huge fan of this thing. Well, today we're going to take a look at the Reload RDA. Now, this is the third version of the Reload RDA. I didn't have the previous versions, which is the original Reload RDA and the Reload version 1.2 RDA. The differences between those two, I believe, now I'm not 100% sure on this, is that the original one was a 22mm RDA, the 1.2 was a 24mm RDA. I believe those were the differences for those two, and a couple other improvements. Now, between the version 1.2 and the version we're going to look at today, there's a couple of very small improvements, very small, that I know about. If I'm wrong, I'm sure you guys will tell me down below, but of what I know about, I'll show you those down below, and we'll talk more about it when we come back up top. We're going to dive down to the table. I'm going to show you everything up close. I'm going to show you the deck. I'm going to show you the barrel, the design. I'm going to show you the two colors that I have, the drip tip. We're going to put a build in there. I'm going to put a low ohm build in there, a super sub ohm build. Some might not call it super. I'm reaching for a 0.08. So we're going to throw that in there. We're going to take it back on top. We're going to vape it on a hybrid style mech tube, and we'll talk about it. I'll let you know what I think. All right, guys, so let's dive down the table and check out the Reload version 1.5 RDA from Reload Vapor USA. Let's go down. Alright, so here's the packaging for the Reload RDA version 1.5, and it has a little pop open tin at the front, so you pop it open, your RDA sits right there. Under the foam, you will get this little goodie bag. In the goodie bag, you're going to get a spare 510. This is a brass gold plated 510, okay? And it's not a squonking pin. There is no squonk pin included. You do get 4 Phillips head flat bottom screws. These are 317L stainless steel screws, and the ones on here are thicker than the previous version, the version 1.2. These are a little bit thicker than that version, okay? And then you get a couple of O-rings. All right, you're also going to get this wide bore Delrin drip tip, and I believe that this drip tip is shorter and thicker and wider than the previous version, the version 1.2. That one had a taller, thinner Delrin 810 drip tip. This is going to be a shorter, thicker, and wider one, okay? You got an inside O-ring on the top cap, and your 810 drip tip just sits inside. This does fit all my other 810 drip tips with no problem. They all fit nice and snug in there, okay? At the top, you have this beautiful knurling design that goes all the way around. That gives you a really good grip when you need to, excuse me, when you need to turn your top cap for the airflow, okay? Down on the side, you're going to see the Reload logo, and that is nice, really deep engraved on the inside there. See that? I mean, that's a really nice engraving. It's got this nice, I know it's a little juiced up and everything right now, but it does have this really nice mirror finish to it. You're going to have one airflow here for single coil, and then you're going to have an airflow here and an airflow here for dual coil. So this is single and dual coil compatible. And then on the inside, you do have a slight conical shape, but it's kind of deceiving. It looks like it would be more of a conical shape the way that this RDA is designed, but when you go in, it's rounded, but it's almost like 90 degrees. So I think they could have done better with the conical shape on the inside to give it a little bit more flavor. All right, and here is the deck. Now, I don't have the previous version, guys. I never had the original version or the version 1.2, but the only difference that I know about this from the previous version is this one has a 5mm juice well, while the previous version had a 7mm juice well. This one has thicker screws. They both have 317L stainless steel screws. They both have flat bottoms on it, so it's not going to snip your leads, but these ones are going to be thicker than the previous version. Other than that, guys, I really don't know if there's any more differences. I don't know of any differences. I can't find it listed anywhere. I think everything else is pretty much the same between the two versions. I even think the post holes are about the same size. So the way this is set up, right, you see that peak insulator on the inside there. So that separates this from this side. So this post and this post is going to be your positive. This post and this post is going to be your negative. Now, you can build this a couple of ways. You can get a coil kind of like this for a single coil. Put it in like this. Have one go to your negative and one go to your positive, and just have it right in the center. So you can use that for a single coil. Or what you can do is just put one on this side just like so, just pop it in just like that and run it in single coil, or you can put one in this side here and then another one in this side there and then you're going to run it in dual coil mode. And that's the build we're going to put in there today. I'm going to put a dual coil build in there. I do have a couple of 20 gauges, 20 gauge. I think, here we go. We got 20 gauge, 4 wrap should be 0.08. So I'm kind of super sub-ohming today on this one, guys. All right, but you do have these, I believe it's 3.5 millimeter airflow tubes. 2 per set of posts. So you have 2 over here, 2 over here. You also have these big, deep wicking cutouts on the inside. You see those down deep in there? Really deep wicking cutouts, so your juice, actually, you have that 5 millimeter juice well, and then you have like an additional 2 or 3 millimeters that goes down on the inside there. Okay, you're gonna have a couple of big beefy O-rings right here on the outside to hold your top cap into place, and then you have this wide open airflow slot, and if you look inside, you'll see the 2 tubes that go up, right? So it goes in, takes a 90-degree up, and goes through the airflow tubes there. All right. And then down at the bottom, it's going to say Reload LE, and then version 1.5, and then you're going to have your serial number. This one is 0092. You're going to have a brass gold-plated positive pin, a peak insulator. And again, you're going to have this gold-plated threading here, and this positive pin is fully adjustable, guys. All right. All right, just to show you some of the builds that you can get in there. This is a 3 millimeter frame stapled build in there. So, I mean, it's a pretty big coil build. You can see the room in the middle. If I wanted to, I'm pretty sure I can get a 3.5 millimeter build in there without them touching. As you can see, I do have a little bit more room. I don't think you can get 4 millimeter dual coil in there, but 3.5 or smaller, you should be able to fit in there. And as you can see, it's pretty, so I have it pretty much as wide as the post. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wrap for a big coil like this. And yeah, it is a flavor monster because the airflow is directly below these 2 coils, so your airflow is coming up and hitting directly on the bottom of your coil and then going to your mouth, so you're going to get a ton of flavor on this style RDA. All right, here's a look at the heat-treated titanium version, which in my opinion is absolutely gorgeous. It's kind of blue on the top, and then it fades down to like a purplish down at the bottom, and then you have that gold accent at the bottom. I mean, it's just absolutely gorgeous. You can see like the two-tone look as I spin it. It goes from blue to purple there, and then opposite when I spin it the other way. It just absolutely looks gorgeous. Then you also have like a little bit of gold in the middle. You can see it there, right, in the logo. Yeah, it just looks absolutely stunning. But to control the airflow, you have to do is grab the knurling at the top and just give it a spin, right? What happens here is also going to happen on the other side. And if you want to run it in single coil mode, you just do like that, so now your single coil airflow is open and nothing open on the other side. This airflow hole is closed as well as this one, so you're going to be just running off of the one airflow for single coil mode. Okay, guys, like I said, I do have 20 gauge, 3 millimeters, 4.5 wraps, so it should ohm out to about 0.08. That's what I'm looking for. And what I found easiest to do when building on this RDA is to kind of get your coils in first. Once you get, like, you get one coil in first. Once it's in, you don't have to tighten it down or anything. Just hold it into place, snip your leads, take it out, and then do the same to the other one. Now you have 2 coils with their leads that are pre-cut, so it makes it much easier to get it into place, because once you have one coil in, it's kind of difficult to get the other coil into place, right? So first thing you want to do is just make sure that your screws are wide open, and then you just want to go ahead and slide it into place just like so. And once it's in place, you can just go ahead and screw it down with this Phillips head screwdriver. And once that's in place, you can just go ahead and drop the other one in on the other side. Once you got the coils into place, you just want to grab one of your tools and you know, straighten your coils out to where you want them. And I'm pretty much right where I want to be, guys. I think that's exactly where I want to be. All right, so we're reading at a 0.11 at the moment, but we're going to go ahead and see if she's glowing nice and even. Next thing you do is just slide your wicks into place. Now this is cotton bacon version 2. Just kind of pull it off the size that you need. Twist it at the end, and then just slide the end of the cotton through the coil. Grab the other side and just pull it through. You want to make it snug, but not too snug. Not overly tight, but definitely not too loose. Right about there, okay? And then do the same to the other side. Now we're going to use some granola bar from Yogi E-Liquid. Delicious stuff, guys. This is really, really good stuff. And then what you want to do, guys, just go ahead and saturate your coils. Saturate your cotton. Get your coils nice and saturated. And then once they are nice and wet, you can go ahead and give it a fire and just see if you got some vapor. And there you go. And one thing that I do like about the way this build deck is you're kind of putting your coils directly in the middle, so you can just go ahead and drip your e-liquid right through the top cap, right down the center there. And as long as your coils are sitting over top of your airflow tubes, directly over top of your airflow tubes, and you have it nice and fluffy wicking in there, you should get no leaking through your airflow holes there, okay? So there you go, guys. That is your Reload version 1.5 RDA from Reload Vapor USA. Let's take it back up top and let you know what I think. See you up there. Woo, boy. I don't normally vape like this. I don't normally vape super low like this. It read, when I showed you guys, it was rated 0.11. When I finally got done with it and all fixed up, it was rated 0.09 on a DNA 200. So 0.09 for me is pretty low, and I never really vape that low. But usually when you're vaping on a hybrid style mech or even a mech mod, you want to build a little low. Just make sure you're practicing battery safety, guys, okay? This is not for a beginner. This is for an advanced builder, an advanced vapor. If you're a beginner, don't go for this. This is not for you yet. Learn the way first. Start with sub-ohm tanks. Move up to regular rebuildables, RTAs and stuff like that, and then move on to something like this, okay? It's all about safety, guys. Just make sure. All right, now let's talk about the Reload version 1.5. Now, first thing I want to talk about the differences between the version 1.2. Now, I look and I'm checking and I'm looking at the details between the 1.2 and the 1.5, and the only thing that I see that is different is the version 1.2 has a deeper juice well at 7 millimeters. The version 1.5 has 5 millimeters. The version 1.5 has thicker, beefier screws than the original version. And the version 1.5 has a bigger or a fatter, shorter, wide bore drip tip than the version 1.2. The version 1.2 has more of a thinner, taller Delrin 810 drip tip. This one has a shorter, stubbier, wider, thicker Delrin 810 drip tip. Other than that, guys, those are really the only differences I see. If you know of more differences that I just can't find, then please let me know down below, and I'll be sure to add it in the description. But that's what I know about. All right? But I want to talk about what I have in front of me, because I've never had the 1.2 and I've never had the original version. Just never had it, so I really can't comment on it. This is new to me, so I'm going to comment on this one. And here's what I got to say about it. This is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Or I mean, it's just it's gorgeous, guys. It looks beautiful, especially this titanium version. I mean, does it get any nicer than this? The knurling at the top, to me, makes this RDA. That knurling, that twisted, that kind of curved knurling at the top is just absolute. I love the grip on it. It feels great. Even when you're vaping with the short drip tip, and your lips touch that top part, it's very comfortable on the lips. It feels really nice. Now, you don't want to do that when you're vaping on something like this, because it gets really hot. That's one thing I could take away from this, is how I'm vaping it right now. I had to go and switch the drip tip. I did have the short profile drip tip on there that came with it, but my lips were touching the top and it was burning my lips, so I had to go and put a longer drip tip on it, so my lips are staying off of the RDA and I don't burn my lips. But let me go ahead and take a quick hit off of this, all right? Look, it's obvious the flavor is going to be good on this. The way the airflow's set up, it's directly under your coil. It's almost like it's a must that you get good flavor. How could you not, unless they were like somehow blocking the airflow at the top, which they're not. It's got a small conical design at the top, so the airflow is going to be nice and smooth going up into your mouth, so there's nothing blocking it. The airflow is nice and smooth, and it's swooshy, and there's no turbulence. That's big to me, guys. When you get turbulence in something, that bothers me. I can't enjoy my vape when I get turbulence, meaning you're getting too much airflow going in, and then there's like a restriction point, and it's kind of too much airflow trying to go into a small tube, and it creates like a turbulence that you can feel when you're vaping. Even when I close this down about halfway, I still get no turbulence. Close it down almost, I'll leave it open about quarter of the way open, right? No turbulence. And then I'm just going to go ahead, just for shits and giggles, vape it in single coil mode, just so you can hear the airflow. I mean, it's not going to be perfect because I have a dual coil in there, but I want you to hear the airflow off a single coil, right? Nice and smooth. Now, Single coil, okay, it's good, but this thing is meant for dual coil. It is. If you're going to vape a single coil in there, what I would suggest is how I showed you to build it, with one lead going this way and one lead going that way, and put it directly in the center and build a big coil. Build like a 3.5 millimeter or even a 4 millimeter coil. Put it directly over all 4 airflows and keep both airflows open. That's how you should build it, vape it in single coil mode, in my opinion. If you vape it with just one side, I don't think it's meant for that. It's just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right in my opinion. So this is just, it shouldn't even have that single coil airflow. That's the way, and I'm a single coil lover, but this is a dual coil RDA. Things I don't like, building on it. Build the way I showed you, okay? Put one coil in first. You don't have to tighten it down, just put it in, hold it into place, and snip the leads. Take it out, put the second coil in, and do the same thing. So now when you put the next coil in, you tighten it down, now you have a little more room to get your leads in. Because if you don't do that, it's kind of hard to get the coils into place, because you're going to have one coil kind of blocking the way, the angle to get your coil into place. You get what I'm saying? It's especially if you're building like Claptons in there, you're going to want to do that. Almost like you would build on the Goon. You want to kind of put your coil in, then cut the leads, and then take it out, and then redo it. Same thing with this one. It can be a little difficult building on this. The smaller the coil, the easier it's going to be, but the bigger the coil, it's not a lot of room for the angle that you have to get your leads in. So sometimes you have to bend your leads. This is if you don't cut your leads, pre-cut your leads. But if you do pre-cut your leads, it makes it a little easier. It's still a little difficult, because you do have to kind of finagle it in there and kind of shake it around to get it into place. It's a little difficult. I'm going to have to give that a con for, you know, the ease of building. It's not the easiest deck to build on. Once you build a few builds in there, you get the hang of it, you know what I mean? But especially for a beginner, it's just going to throw you through a loop and you're going to get frustrated. So this is why I do not recommend this for a beginner. Not only for that, but safety as well. No, other than that, really, that's the only con I have to it. It's just the building. Everything else, I mean, the way it's set up with independent posts on each side. You have wide open holes, one hole per post. You have 4 holes. You just kind of slide your coil into place and tighten it down. So you have 2 coils, one sitting on both sides, and they're sitting directly over your airflow. So when you drip the juice on there, it goes down and just, it doesn't, you know, your airflow is being blocked by the coil. So you can drip right above it, and it just goes down and goes into that deep ass juice well. I like that it has that extra juice well at the bottom, those little cutouts that gives you another 2-3 millimeters, it looks like. So you have plenty of juice that you can hold in there. Yeah, I like that. That's one thing I like, man. If I can just take my juice and just dump it right in the middle and not having a leak, and especially on a bottom airflow RDA. Bottom airflow RDAs are prone to leaking. All of them, guys. Even this one, if you build the wrong way, or if you don't wick it fluffy enough, or if you don't build your coils close enough together, or maybe they're not over the airflow, it's going to leak on you. It's bottom airflow, guys. That's just physics, you know. But if you can block those airflows with your coil, not only is it going to prevent it from leaking, but it's going to give you better flavor. So yeah, man. But other than that, really, there's really no other cons. It vapes great. The build quality is excellent. I mean, excellent build quality. It's gorgeous. The looks, out of this world, the looks of this thing. So I really, really like it. I consider it more of a high-end version. One, because it's made in America, but because of that, here's the biggest con of this thing. It's going to be the price, okay? So now there's 4 different versions. You can get the black, stainless, gold, or heat-treated titanium. The heat-treated titanium is going to be $100, okay? $100 for the heat-treated titanium. The gold version is going to be $95. The black version is going to be $85, and the stainless version is going to be $75. So yeah, it's going to cost a little money if you want one of these guys, but you're paying for something that's made in America. So of course they're using more expensive materials. It's going to cost more for the manpower. So I can't be upset at them for charging that, because they're making it here. You know what I'm saying? So that's something. If you can afford it, then highly recommend it. If you can't afford it, then, you know, go for something else. But here's what I don't get. When I look at this and then I compare it to the version 1.2, it's actually more expensive for the 1.2, so I don't get that. Stainless steel on this is $79, so the stainless steel is $80. Stainless steel on the version 1.5 is $75, so I don't get that. Now, if you already have the 1.5, don't get the version 1.5. I don't, you know, why? It's pretty much the same RDA. Unless you really want that blue colored heat-treated titanium one, that's the only reason I would say to get this if you already have the version 1.2. The only reason is if you want this color, you want that heat-treated finish to it. One more thing that I can say, the version 1.2 has a copper version when this doesn't. It has the heat-treated titanium. Other than that, guys, there's really not much else that I could say about this RDA. Alright, so let's see it in action. Like I said, it's a 0.09 build. I got it on the Sabone mech, a hybrid mech mod, so I'm running straight off the battery. It's a VCT 5A, so here we go. There you go. All right, now I gave you the prices. I'll have a link down below to evcigarettes.com. They do have all 4 versions in. If I have a I don't have a coupon code right now, but I'll see if I can get one. I'll get in contact with EV Cigarettes, see if I can get a coupon code. If not, it is what it is, guys. I'll have a link in the description below. So that's it, guys. If you like it, you know, give it a thumbs up. If you're new and I've earned it, subscribe. Make sure you hit the little bell next to the subscribe button so it notifies you when I upload a video. If you want to see what I got coming up for review, I'm on Instagram at vaping_heathen. And if you'd like to enter random weekly and monthly giveaways, you can sign up to my Patreon. I do have a link in the description below. So that's about all I have for you today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly, truly do appreciate it. With all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take a nice big hit off of my Reload version 1.5 RDA from Reload Vapor USA. And we're going to get out of here. Sláinte.